10 Best Places to Visit in Paris. Paris has its own way of romancing its tourists. The romantic boulevards, iconic museums and monuments, and the Art Nouveau cafes are few of the reasons why people fall in love with Paris every time. Be it on their first visit or the 100th, the instantly recognizable Parisian views will seduce you whenever you have a look at them. There are innumerable stunning places to see in Paris that will blow your minds with their grandiose beauty and the unique historical stories. Some of them offer a spiritual unwinding through their pure vibes. Others feature the weird and wacky side of the city. Apart from the man-made attractions, there are also natural spaces in the city like the large gardens and lakes that will allure you. So, go visit these places and have a lifelong love affair with the City of Lights. 1. Eiffel Tower. This is an obvious one, but you cannot visit Paris without visiting its most famous landmark. If you don't want to pay to go up the Eiffel Tower, it can be enjoyed just as much from ground level. The area right underneath the Eiffel Tower is very busy, with street vendors and souvenir sellers. You visit the Eiffel Tower during the day, try to get back in the evening. The tower is one of the best places to visit in Paris at night. It is really spectacular, with the lights twinkling in the dark. 2. River Seine. The Seine is one of Paris's most famous landmarks, and strolling along the river is a must-do experience when in Paris. The River Seine runs through the center of Paris, but I would recommend starting at Neuf along the way. This part of the river is great because you can detour and see so many of Paris's main attractions. Or, if you prefer, simply enjoy the riverside stroll and go back to the sites later. 3. The Louvre. The Louvre Museum is one of Paris's most famous tourist attractions. It is the world's second largest art museum and best known for housing the famous Mona Lisa painting. If you want to visit inside the gallery, you will need to book your ticket in advance. Even if you don't want to go inside the museum, it is still worth visiting to see the famous glass pyramid of the Louvre and the grand buildings that surround it. This is one of the most iconic photo spots in Paris. Just be sure to arrive early to take advantage of fewer crowds. 4. Notre Dame Cathedral. The Notre Dame Cathedral is one of Paris's most beautiful buildings. Sadly, a large part of the cathedral was badly damaged in a fire in 2019, whilst the spire was being restored. This unfortunately means that visitors can no longer go inside the cathedral. However, the front towers still remain and are a great spectacle. There are also large educational boards to show what the cathedral originally looked like and explain the restoration process. Despite the ongoing restoration, the tower is still one of Paris' must-see attractions. 5. Disneyland Paris. There are actually 2 parks to explore here. One is Park Disneyland, aka the erstwhile Euro Disney, which has the big pink castle in it. And then there's the SFX-oriented Park Walt Disney Studios, which is more themed around Disney's films. And then there's Disney Entertainment Village, which is filled with places to eat, drink, and party. Europe's premier theme park can seem rather vast and intimidating. But remember, it's all meant to be good fun, and it's broken down into easy-to-digest zones. Fantasyland, Discoveryland, Small World, Pirates of the Caribbean, et al. There's absolutely no way you're going to run out of stuff to keep you and the nippers occupied. 6. Moulin Rouge. Surely the most famous nightclub on the planet, the Moulin Rouge, has seen all manner of showbiz stars, musicians, actors, and stately names pass through its doors, which first opened in 1889, interrupted for 6 years when the original building burned down in 1915. And, tourists aside, this cabaret venue also remains beloved by Parisians, who go more for the club scene at the Machine and rooftop bar A Belles that lie within. The birthplace of one of the 20th century's best-known dances. On stage, 60 can-can dancers cavort with faultless synchronization for 2 hours in the fairy show. Costumes are flamboyant, legs kick higher than you'd think possible, and the halftime acts are funny. Just add champagne, and you've got the ultimate French night out. 7. Centre Pompidou. The Pompidou's inside-out appearance, with pipes, air ducts and escalators proudly gracing the exterior, has made it one of the best-known sights in Paris. It's so striking that when it opened in 1977, its success exceeded all expectations, which was kind of a problem, as in essence, 5 times more people turned up than had been expected. In its early years, it was a byword for excessive busyness. After a 2-year revamp, completed in 2000, the building grew, with a larger museum, renewed performance spaces, and vista-rich Georges restaurant added. Entrance to the Forum is free, as is a ride on the external escalators to the top of the museum. The permanent collection is an eclectic and vibrant display of modern art. 8. Arc de Triomphe in Paris. The Grande Mosquée is an active place of worship but is open to visitors, except on Fridays and Muslim holidays. It opened in 1926 and remained the only mosque in the Paris metro area for a long time. Nearly 100 years later, the mosque's geometric mosaics, white columns, and intricately engraved archways make it a must-see. Walking through the tiled central courtyards and gardens will make you feel like you're in Marrakesh, not Paris. Women can also enjoy a massage and a steam at the mosque's on-site hammam, but no men are allowed. 9. Versailles. The Palace of Versailles is the former residence of the French monarchs and is famous for its architectural grandeur and its political significance in French history. King Louis XIII built a chateau in Versailles to serve as a hunting lodge in the early 1600s. Later, King Louis XIV commissioned this extravagant palace, which took 40 years to complete. Today, this magnificent work is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and is one of the most visited attractions in Paris. The Palace of Versailles happens to be a lavish complex and a former residence of the royal kingdom outside the city of Paris. The Palace of Versailles is located at a distance of 10 kilometers from the city center of Paris. The structure has deep connections with the political history of Paris, as it represents an age in the history of France's rise as a power and fashion center in the world. 10. Place de la Concorde. The Place de la Concorde is the largest plaza in Paris and is decorated with beautiful fountains. It was built between 1757 and 1779 to celebrate the better health of King Louis XV. Place de la Concorde is famous for the 3,300-year-old Egyptian Luxor obelisk and the 2 magnificent fountains. From the obelisk you can get serene views of Tuileries Garden and the Louvre Museum on one side, and Champs-Élysées and Arc de Triomphe on the other side. If you are on a tour to Paris and you do not visit Place de la Concorde, your trip is incomplete. Place de la Concorde is one of the widely visited public squares in Paris. Place de la Concorde is surrounded by many famous places of Paris, such as Champs-Élysées to the west, and Pont de la Concorde to the south. If you found this content helpful and inspiring, remember to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and share this video with your friends and family.